Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Unofficial Cricket Show. I'm your host, Vivek Nanda. Today, we are going to talk about two matches, two series that actually came to the conclusion, even though there is one match left in India South Africa series. But two series, one India versus South Africa, and then England versus Pakistan. That was a long series, and there were total 7 matches, and that also came to the conclusion. So let's start with the first one: India versus South Africa. So India barely manages to beat South Africa to win the series 2-0. There is still one game left, so India won both the games. Rahul scored 57 off 28 balls. He looked in good touch and played some fantastic shots. Rohit Sharma scored 43 and Virat scored 49 not out. He was there up until the end of the innings. But Suryakumar Yadav, aka Sky, came with yet another blistering knock. He hit 61 runs off 22 balls, and then there was a mix-up between Virat Kohli and Sky got run out. Overall, India posted a huge total, 237 for 3. And it seemed like it will be an easy win for India, but South Africa has something else in stores. What happened was South Africa was slow to start. They lost wickets early on. South Africa were 47 for 3 in 7th over. And Bavuma, Rilee Rossuw, and Markram back in pavilion. And after that, South Africa did not lose any wicket. Quinton de Kock came back to form, scoring 69 of 48 balls. But the real hero of the show was David Miller. David Miller tonked Indian bowlers out of the park and scored a massive century. Miller was 106 of 47 balls and remained not out. In the end, South Africa could not cross the line and ended up at 221 for 3 and lost the second game in the series with one game left. A lot to unpack, so let's start with India. The batting order is clicking, which is great for India. All top four scored the runs again, which is something they were looking for from their batting lineup, considering their main strength is batting. But bowling still remains a big concern. Even on this pitch, none of the pacers worked, none of the spinners worked. They had Ashwin and Akshar Patel both in the team. Ashwin did bowl almost economical compared to all others, but everyone else were taken apart. And at the end, India really struggled to get any wickets. They got 3 wickets, and so batting working, bowling still remains a concern. I mean, this was like they scored 237 runs, and if the Indian team has to score 230 plus targets to save the game or to win, that's not that's not looking good, because that's not how they will win the World Cup for sure. At the moment, Indian team does not look like favorites in the World Cup, considering they have been really struggling with their bowling department, and batting is working, but it won't work all the time, and having the opposition score at a run rate of 12 plus runs an over, right? So yeah, India batting great, bowling big concern, able to win the match, able to win the series, still one game left. Meanwhile, South Africa, top order remains a concern, but de Kock and Miller coming to the party is a great sign for their batting. Both are very, very important part of that team. Both are heavy hitters. And once de Kock gets going, who knows if this total was easy for South Africa to chase. However, bowling still took a pounding, just like the Indian bowling. So overall, good matchup, but it seems like at the moment South Africa also getting something out of this game and getting their batting, and they actually finished on the high. It seems like, considering they only lost with a few runs at the end. So yeah, a lot of work for both teams in bowling departments, but batting really working. One more thing, I don't know if you guys noticed, in this game there was a snake on the ground. There was a snake that when KL Rahul was batting, and I think he saw it first. The snake was going through the ground, and he told everyone to took notice of it and stopped the play for a bit, and then the snake was removed from the ground. Or I think they didn't show it completely, but the snake was walking across the ground, so the play was stopped, and that was the first I've seen a live snake coming between the overs, crossing the field. So, well, that happened. That was the first. Also, the game was in Guwahati, which is like the east of India, and pretty lots of rains and lots of flora fauna. So I believe we saw something out of that. Pretty interesting, I would say. Yeah, so there's still one game left, and India won the series. And after that, India flies to Australia. And I think South Africa also flies directly to Australia to play their warm up games for the T20 World Cup. Now, the big match, England versus Pakistan. England comprehensively beats Pakistan to win the series 4-3. After leveling the series at 3-3, England and Pakistan played one last time to decide the winner, and oh boy, England came all guns blazing. I felt like this was a very one-sided match. England posted 209 for 3. David Malan led the charge with 78 not out of 47 balls. Ben Duckett scored 30 of 19 balls, and Harry Brook remained not out on 46 of 29 balls. England batting looked dominating, and pretty much all Pakistani bowlers struggled except Haris Rauf. Haris Rauf, once again, I mean, he's been outstanding in this format in the last few months. He's been running hard. He gives his 1,000% in every ball he bowls, and he's been delivering the goods. Haris Rauf went for 24 in his 4 overs. He could not get a wicket, but he probably deserved 2 or 3 wickets if the catches would not have been dropped. Pakistan fielding was in complete disarray. Babar dropped 2 catches. Wasim Jr. dropped 1 catch. There were 2 boundaries that went after the misfield. Pakistan was not looking great on the field. Pakistan lost both Babar and Rizwan within the first 2 overs. After that, the batting just couldn't pick up. This is Pakistan's problem. Pakistan very heavily relies on Babar and Rizwan. And once the opening pair goes cheaply, there is no one to anchor the inning. At least if the target is you're chasing a 200 target, at least there are no shot makers who are able to fabricate an inning per the required rate. Shan Masood did held one end for the majority of the innings. And on the other end, wickets kept falling. Shan Masood scored 53 of 43 balls. At the end, Pakistan ended the innings at 142 for 8. All bowlers picked up at least a wicket in the England side except Moeen Ali. And Chris Wokes led the charts with 3 for 26 in his 4 overs. In the end, England won the game very easily by 67 runs. Once again, Pakistan batting exposed after losing Babar and Rizwan early on. Pakistan fielding was all over the place, and it seemed like a very one-sided match with no fighting spirit from the Pakistan team, considering this is the last match of the series. It looked very one-sided. On the other hand, England looked great. And it seems like they have a great mix of batters and bowlers in the team now. England seems to be the favorite, in my opinion, for the T20 World Cup in Australia. And they have now these new players in the squad after this series. And special mention to, of course, Harry Brook, who was declared the player of the series for this series. England hammering Pakistan in the final match and winning the series 4-3. After this match, Pakistan goes for a tri-series in New Zealand. They played this series, and after that they play warm-up matches in Australia for the World Cup. And for England, I think they go directly to Australia and play their warm-up matches and before playing the World Cup. Overall, lots of concern for the subcontinent teams, both India and Pakistan. India is still struggling with bowling big time. Pakistan seems to struggle with their middle order, really not getting anyone to stand up and take away the game from the opposition. I mean, it's great that Sharma provided this nice partnership and tried to create something out of that. But to be honest, he never looked once in the entire game that he's taking away the game from the opposition. It really was just like trying to build the innings. So yeah, it seems like England has found their combinations. They have done really well in this series, and they have built a squad which has quality bowlers, quality batsmen, and they don't have express pacers like Pakistan does, but their line and length from England bowlers have been immaculate. That's something Indian bowlers need to learn from England and try to improve on their side when they're bowling. All in all, a very entertaining series. England takes it home 4-3 in the 7-match series and goes to T20 World Cup. Likewise, for India and South Africa, one more match left. And that is it for today in the Unofficial Cricket Show. And I'm your host, Vivek Nanda, and we will be seeing each other soon.